I remember almost everything that day.
It's easy to forget, as we all hang on every moment of the latest GC battle, that for the other riders in the peloton, simply winning a stage at a Grand Tour can mean the world. And while Matej Mohoric was no stranger to victory, his win on stage 19 of the 2023 Tour de France was something very special for him.
I remember how much stress and expectations I had from especially that particular stage. I was so close to winning a stage on Puy de Dôme, and I came in third, and I knew I had it in me to win the stage, and I knew that stage 19 was my last opportunity. But so was it the last opportunity for most of the peloton, because cycling has changed. Now the level, the bar is rising each and every year, and the tactics and strategy are much more important. And this inevitably means that in some scenarios, if it's not really, really high mountains and a lot of climbing, many riders are actually capable of winning physically at least. And on those days, when the parcours is good for so many guys, it's really hard. It usually ends up being a huge fight for the breakaway. And I remember myself trying, not going too crazy, using all of my experience from the previous years and all the 10 years of racing that I have behind me. In a really hard moment, after 2 hours of attacking, which is unusually long time, even on the Tour, even for a stage of that importance, a small breakaway got away, and we had Jack Haig in it.
You know, we can see here just one slip moment, and then it can be the move that goes away.
I remember I was a little bit disappointed, maybe is the right word. I stayed fully focused with my teammates, helping each other out, but also with my experience, I hoped that the race isn't over yet. We were quite comfortably in the front, but the pace wasn't comfortable at all, and it hurt a lot, and it was really fast because some teams had missed that breakaway and they were putting in the pace to try and bring it back. And at the intermediate sprint, which is always a tricky point, the pace was picked up so much that the peloton basically exploded, and some of us managed to get across to the breakaway. I stayed focused. Everyone was on their hands and knees. I was also on my hands and knees, but I didn't even think about giving up. I trusted myself, and I believe that I have that stage win inside me, and I never doubted it for a second. And I knew when Kasper attacked with just pure force that this was the move to follow.
It's Kasper Asgreen who's going for it, in good company as well. Sean, this is starting to kick off.
I think everyone was pushing themselves hard on that climb, and when Kasper attacked, it was so violent that most of the riders, I think if they tried, they could have maybe followed for a bit, but it was almost scary, like they didn't want to. It was like they feared to hurt themselves more. So you needed to make a choice, and I ended up making the right choice. When it was just the three of us, I just have a switch in my head and I put it on 0 in those moments. This is actually really important, I think, because I feel maybe other riders think differently. Maybe they think too much about possible scenarios or outcomes. I try to focus on my breathing, try to focus on my shoulders to shrink them in, to be as aero as possible, on my efficiency, to not spike, to try to hold the perfect distance from the guy in front of me, to be close enough to have the maximum aero benefit, but still far enough that when he makes a slight movement on his bike or something, I don't touch the wheels. My main focus is the small things. Don't forget about nutrition, don't forget about taking a sip from your bidon, don't forget to take that last gel. I just control what I can control and leave everything else out to destiny. And then when we approach that final kilometer, of course you think about your tactics for the sprint. It was a little bit inevitable that we stayed together to the last kilometer because we were just working as hard as we possibly could to keep the chasing group chasing and not coming back to us. When we approached the sprint, I firmly decided that when Ben attacks, and I know he would attack because this was his only chance to win a stage, and of course you take that one chance. I told myself, when Ben attacks, you don't close it down.
Leaving himself some rush room here, and he picks it up right now. They'll be blaring on the radio, and he's gone for it.
If Kasper doesn't close it down, Ben wins. You just follow Kasper and try to come around in the last 70 meters. And I didn't even care if Kasper didn't cover him. I would be happy for Ben to win the stage.
Ben O'Connor had to go long, and straight onto his wheel is Kasper Asgreen. Can he possibly get back at him here?
Kasper is a really strong and durable sprinter, and I knew that I have a very slim chance of winning, but I believed in it, and I stayed glued to Kasper's wheel.
Anybody's guess, just for the time being, it's the three of them, and Asgreen is going to get a famous double here. Oh, it's going to be heartbreak potentially. Mohoric is leaving it very late to come around him if he possibly can.
And if Kasper won the sprint against me, I would also be happy and would give him a hats off because he was just incredibly, ridiculously strong.
But Asgreen's got a fantastic drive on him, and here comes Mohoric. It's going to be on the front of the bear. Oh, photo finish! Nobody knows who's got that.
When we crossed the line, I didn't know that I won, but I didn't care. I was just exhausted, happy and proud that it was over. It was a great fight, and this is what the sport is about, no? You don't always win, but you sure feel proud of what you did.
Et c'est Matej Mohoric.
Well done, mate. I was always going to lose that one. Well done, mate.
But to be honest, I also felt a huge amount of relief and happiness because I knew I gave it my best shot, and I knew how hard all the team worked for this and how important it was to everyone, especially after what happened to Gino. And yeah, it was not an easy year, but I think we collected ourselves really well and proved that we will honor him for the rest of our careers.